Well, I'm going to tell you about my hero. Oh boy, it was the year 2000. Such a glorious time. Before 9/11, just after the 20th century. It seemed like a time where we could all just restart the whole damn thing, right? Symbolically, I think. So I had just gone into high school. And at that point, in junior high, I had been introduced to Akira Kurosawa films, and let me tell you, I became somewhat obsessed. And very enamored of Toshiro Mifune, who was a big actor that Akira Kurosawa would use in his films. He was kind of the bad boy, sort of Han Solo, Devil May Care type of figure. You know, I really just wanted to make what I felt like inside come outside, and that's not at all who I am. Thank God I know that now. But I really wanted to be him, and of course, when you want to be a samurai, what do? You go to your dad and you say, like I said, Father, I would like to learn to wield a blade as the samurai of old did, and learn to vanquish my enemies. And he said, get lost, which was very expected. I could tell that one was coming, so I wasn't too hurt about it. But surprised was I when a couple of weeks later, he came home, and he was like, hey Nathan, one of my patients, he runs a dojo, and he's giving like martial arts classes, and I got you into one, and you could buttered my buns and called me a biscuit, because he would never spend money on anything that was not like clinically pragmatic. Anyways, so I'm over the moon about this. I mean, you know, it's not wielding a katana, but I feel like at this point I'll take what I can get, and I will learn some martial arts. So the class took place on a Monday afternoon at 1 p.m. This is seared into my memory, because it was a very memorable day. It was a few blocks down from our house, so I walked down, and I showed up about 45 minutes early, because I wanted to make sure that whoever was in there knew that I was very serious about learning the martial arts. And so I show up, and you know, you walk in the front door, and there's mirrors all around the room, so you can see yourself do your moves, and there's padding all over the floor. You guys have seen Karate Kid. So, I walk in, and there's a desk off to the right with a lady sitting at it, and she's like, hello, and I'm like, hello, I am here for the martial arts class. And she said, okay, just sort of sit at the bench and do stretches or whatever you want. And I thought to myself, yes, I will do some stretches that I have prepared especially for this day. So I go over there, I put my bag underneath the bench, I do some stretches, I sit down. And obviously I got there way too early. I was done with stretches in like 5 minutes. And so the rest of the 40 minutes was just pure anticipation. So as I'm waiting there, inevitably other people start to show up. And more people show up. And it gets to be about, you know, 5 minutes to class time. And I realized something very acutely as I look around the room and notice that I am the only male there. Out of the maybe 15 or 16 people, I'm the only guy, and it was quite puzzling to me. It was slightly different than the analytics I had expected, being a 15-year-old kid. And I'm like, okay, cool, great. So the instructor shows up. His name was Tony. He said, hey Nathan, how's it going? I'd met him before. And so he takes us out all onto the mat, and we get down, you know, we sit on our like this, but on the ground with both legs down, and he gets in front of us, and he's a very charismatic guy, and he's like, hey, hello all of you, and we went around and said our names or whatever, and he's like, welcome to the women's rape awareness and self-defense class. And I was frozen, petrified with fear. Not just simply because I was clearly in a place that was marketed and made for people who were decidedly not me, but I understood with a growing realization that my dad had probably likely coerced this guy into getting me into this free class because he didn't want to spend any money. And what made it worse as time went on was that it was really great because Tony did this wonderful thing where he would sit out there and like I was off on the side, so he would look around the room and he'd go, "Now I'm going to show you some moves that are really good if you find yourself in a dark alleyway and there's no real place to escape, and if somebody's got you pinned on the ground." Or if there are bullies at school who are pushing you around or something like that. So it was like always that little, oh, also you're part of the class. And it got better as time went on because I was also the test dummy for all of the moves. So I'd get up there and he'd hand me a pillow to place on my body at the point where he was going to hit me very hard. So at the very least, I was used as you know what? I was a model, Dan, but not a nude one. Where'd you go? Yeah. And so I get home, and of course I tell my dad the petrifying day that he put me through, and he was like, "I don't know what you're complaining about. I mean, very, very much exactly who my dad is." And so I guess the moral of the story is, if you want to be your heroes, do not give any of the responsibility of that to your dad. That's